What's up? Police Sports Gamer here, and bad news for Brock Purdy, 49er fans, as he got additional swelling in his elbow and his surgery was postponed. This video is going to describe the situation with Brock Purdy's surgery and how it affects the 49ers, and I'm also going to have some options I think the 49ers are going to add at quarterback to back up Trey Lance and Brock Purdy for the 2023 season. So we got an article here. Niners Purdy now aiming to have March elbow surgery. San Francisco 49ers Brock Purdy has been waiting for swelling his right elbow to reduce so he could have torn ulnar collateral ligament and it repaired. This is not a good situation when there's additional swelling. That means something is going on in his elbow that's causing the swelling to continue, and it's postponing the surgery, and I think there's something more going on in the elbow. Like, the injury is not healing as fast. The swelling is not going down. It's not good for his prognosis to be available for the beginning of the season. They still say he's going to be available, but I don't think so. The procedure was supposed to happen Wednesday, the 22nd, in Arlington, Texas, but after Purdy met with Dr. Keith Meister on Tuesday, his surgery will be delayed further. So now we're looking at March. Purdy continues to have inflammation in his elbow, which is why Meister recommended a postponed surgery until it goes down further. Purdy and Meister are aiming to regroup in early March with the hopes of getting it done then. And what if the swelling doesn't go down? By then, it's going to get postponed more. They're saying 6 months minimum to be recovered from this surgery. And that's if it is as simple as what they say and not additional, like say Tommy John surgery or something additional in there that they find, which could postpone his recovery even further. Purdy and the Niners are still hoping that he'll have what is known as surgical UCL repair augmented with an internal brace. The brace is synthetic check-reined implanted alongside the repair to help reinforce the ligament as it heals. That internal brace repair comes with a recovery timeline of about 6 months, but allow Purdy to begin throwing again in 3 months, with a slow build-up back to full strength. With the surgery delayed until at least early March, 6 month recovery would be put Purdy back in the field sometime in late August. Like, I don't get that timeline. 6 months. March is the 3rd month. 6 months is September. In my timeline, he's back in September, which is the beginning of the season. That would be the case if Purdy's elbow doesn't need sort of hybrid surgery that would require partial reconstruction in addition to repair. That determination can't be made until Meister gets a look at the elbow when the surgery begins. Me personally, I just have a bad feeling about this. This is just crazy how one hit, quarterbacks get hit in the arm all the time when they're throwing, and this doesn't happen. But this happened to Purdy. Just bad luck. Purdy broached the possibility when speaking to KNBR radio in San Francisco early this month, noting that the hybrid procedure would require additional recovery time. We're going into it thinking the repair will be internal brace for sure, Purdy said. All the surgeons have said that, and that we're hoping for, and get a 6 month recovery in and be ready for training camp. With Purdy slated to miss the entire offseason program, Trey Lance is expected to handle #1 quarterback duties for organized team activities and mini camps. Lance, who's recovering from a broken right ankle, is expected to be cleared to run soon. Good to go in time for OTAs. So this is why in my other video I said this is Trey Lance's team at the beginning of the season, because I think Purdy's recovery time is going to be past the end of August. I think it's going into September and maybe even beyond. Unfortunately, he might even be lost for the season. Who knows? Who knows how the surgery is going to go? Like I said, we're not going to know until they actually go in there to find the extent. So what this means for the surgery, this other article I got here. Lance, 2021's 3rd overall pick and player for whom San Francisco traded 3 round picks for to acquire, was handed the reins before the 2022 season. He lasted 84 snaps, most of which came in monsoon conditions, an open week and lost Chicago Bears before losing what was supposed to be a breakout season due to injury. Yes, Trey Lance wasn't lucky. His first start in the beginning of the season was in a monsoon. Then the second start he got injured. This is not good for the 49ers. I'm hoping like Purdy's not injury prone. I think he is going to be injury prone. His frame is not that big. He needs to get a little bigger, a little tougher. Because when he was playing last year, he got that rib injury. He got hit in the ribs. He got the rib injury. He was playing through that. He might be like an injury-riddled quarterback if he keeps getting hit, which doesn't bode well for the 49ers, especially with Trey Lance. It seems like he's getting injured a lot also. But we'll see. This is Trey Lance's team going to the season. So it says now instead of splitting reps or potentially losing them in organized team activities in minicamp, the team practices that take place in the summer before training camp begins, Lance will take reps with the starters. Purdy won't just be working recovery from his torn UCL, he'll also be fighting the momentum of chemistry the former first rounder has built over the weeks of practices, and since he'll be recovering, there's a good chance he won't be throwing the ball as much as the counterpart as he works his way back into game shape. Purdy will also going to be at a disadvantage due to having a more recent injury. Losing another 2 weeks when he could be working with his wideouts pushes that even further. We know Lance is capable of things Purdy's game is lacking. He's an explosive mobile quarterback and, more importantly, able to sling the ball downfield and more speed and power than his newer but older teammate. But Purdy has a trump card built into his resume. He didn't take quarterback 1 reps at any point until December last season. He finished the year 8-0 with a 16-to touchdown interception ratio in games where he threw at least 10 passes. He can build himself up from nothing and lead the 49ers to greatness. That's the difference between Purdy and Lance. I was more towards Purdy because he fits this offense a lot better than Lance does. We just need an accurate passer who could throw the ball 10 to 15 yards on those slants, and Purdy does that a hell of a lot better than Lance. But like this article says, Lance has the more ability. He could run, he could scramble down the field a lot better than Purdy. Purdy's good at moving in the pocket and getting into the open field so he could throw the ball, but he's not fast enough to run down the field 10 to 15 yards to keep those drives going in Lance. And Lance also has the bigger arm. He could throw the ball downfield. Yet the 49ers don't have that downfield wide receiver, so that doesn't matter. They have Ray McCloud. That's about it. All the other receivers are more those 10 to 20 yard receivers, those slants, those curls, those outs. They don't have that big burner that Lance could throw the ball deep to. That's why Purdy fits more into this scheme than Lance. But I'm sure the 49ers management rather see Lance out there. They wasted all those picks to get Lance. They want to see Lance on the field and see what he could do to prove that they made the right call by trading all those picks for him. I still shake my head at management that they gave up so much for Lance when they probably could have had him at 12 anyway. Like, who was going to pick Lance? I don't know. Maybe someone in their management told them that this NFL team out there was going to pick him, that they had to make this trade, but I really don't think so. And I wish they didn't, because who knows if they had Micah Parsons on their minds at the number 12 pick, but oh man, I wish they had him. Him and Bosa would have been unreal. In addition to that defense, there would have been Baltimore's defense in the early 2000s. So this sets the stage for an intriguing summer of OTAs and practice in San Francisco. Lance will enter August with the starting quarterback hype because he's the guy playing with the starters. As long as he doesn't fall apart, he'll likely remain in that position even if Purdy is cleared to take off. This doesn't mean he'll stay out there and that he's the team's best option, even if it does, because we know the Iowa State star is capable of. Then you throw the volatility of 2 young passes working in a small sample sizes and the idea that anyone can fly Kyle Shanahan's autopilot offense. This is going to be a fun summer for the 49ers. The rest of the league will have his crop of rookie first-rounders, veterans like David Carr, and sure, why not Aaron Rodgers in new places. And that'll be interesting, but the most intriguing quarterback battle will take place in the Bay Area because Lance and Purdy, 2 very different young quarterbacks, are each stuck with something to prove in 2023. Yes, Lance has something to prove where he needs to, if he plays, to prove he can pilot this offense, to prove he increases accuracy, and that he would take this offense on a different level than Purdy can. Purdy can prove that last year was not a fluke, that he can pilot this offense to 30 plus points a game and hopefully maybe bring the 49ers to the Super Bowl. Time will tell. This is going to be a good offseason. But now I'm going to give a list of free agent quarterbacks because I think the 49ers are going to add a veteran quarterback in addition to Purdy and Lance, because I don't think Johnson is going to be there next year. He proved that he wasn't capable of leading this offense. I know he got hurt, but in the time he was there, he really didn't do much except for the one drive, which is all McCaffrey. I think they're going to add another veteran quarterback. So here's a list of free agent quarterbacks for next year. And obviously a lot of them are not going to happen, like Lamar Jackson, Derek Carr, Geno Smith. They're not going to sign Jimmy G anymore. A couple of names that were tossed out is Andy Dalton. He's not a great quarterback, but he's capable of being a good backup. And the one they're pointing out is Nate Sutfield. He was there last year until Detroit scooped him up before the beginning of the season. And he knows the offense. I mean, he's not a quarterback that could take him far in the playoffs, but he's capable. And Nick Mullins is another one who was there and played during the season a few years ago. A viable backup that's better than Josh Johnson. So those are a couple of names. I don't think any of the other ones, like a Taylor Heineke, I don't think they'll sign him or Gardner Minshew. I think they're aiming for either Andy Dalton, Nate Sudfeld, or Nick Mullins. And I think they will go for Nate Sudfeld again, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think about this situation. Brock Purdy, think Lance is going to take over in September and beyond? Or you think Purdy's going to come back and lead the 49ers again once he gets recovered from his surgery? And hopefully they're not going to find any additional damage that will cost him the season. So please subscribe, like, and comment. Thanks. See ya.